my dear friends. Hello, my dear members. Welcome to Herbalism 101. And today we will be talking about herbalism, everything herbalism. And today is basically the first course. And for the first course, we will be talking about books because I want to show you all some of the books that you can start with as a beginner if you want to learn on your own, find information. These books are really good books. I've had them for years and they're good reference book. And these are books that you can take with you when you go outside to forage and to find your plants in the wild. And they have lots of pictures. So you can use them. I have them right here. As you can see, they're very heavy. Oh my gosh. So they're very heavy. So let's start with one of my favorite. Let me show you the book. Oh, why is it showing upside down? But it's showing upside down. It's Complete Herb Book by Jekka Mavika. Oh my God, is it showing like this? Okay, let's see. Oh no, guys, it's showing upside down. But um, this book, and this book is a really good book to start with. And I like it because it gives you, it shows you what the herb looks like. And it tells you, this is like anise hyssop, as you can see here, anise hyssop. And it basically tells you the species. It tells you also the scientific name. It tells you the function of the herb itself. It also tells you how to cultivate it and propagate it, whether it by seed or by cutting, and how to get the seed and to store it properly. It also tells you how to maintain that plant and the pests and diseases that will affect that plant and how to treat those plants. It also gives you some local recipe on how you can make this, like use this plant, like they show you here. You can use it to make like iced teas or just cold drinks in the winter, in the summer. And then it also tells you its medicinal and culinary uses. So this book is very awesome because it goes through all the different plants like borage. It tells you how to make borage tea. It tells you medicinal uses, and it gives you like lots of pictures and stuff on how to use the thing, how to use the plant, right? And this book is just filled with pictures, and as you can see, the illustration is quite clear, and so you're able to, this is a good read, and it gives you a lot of information in this book. So I'd recommend, like, if you're a beginner and you're going to learn about herbalism, get that book. So I am going to write all the books and the names in the link in the bottom so you can go through it. The next book is Wild About Herbs. I don't know why is it showing like that. It's Wild About Herbs. Okay, and it's by Roger Tabor. And this book, it it's tells you all the zones across America and Canada, the different zones, the temperature that is best suited for the plant that you're going to grow. It tells you how to use the herbs and how they've been used historically. It tells you how to grow and preserve the herb. It also gives you detailed information about 100 herbs and very detailed information on how to use the herbs. And it also gives you information on how to incorporate those herbs to encourage like healthy eating habits and to like encourage appetite, or how to just heal minor ailments and stuff like that. And it also tells you the strength of those herbs, like how to use and how not to use it, right? And then it also gives you, um, it tells you how to use those herbs also for cosmetics. So this book is very, very good. Wild About Herbs. I love this book. I have this book for years, and I've always like I go through it for many, many things. Like for here, we have St. John's wort, and as you can see, the picture is so vivid, and it tells you, I said the scientific name. It also gives you other names of the plant. So if you're not too sure about one plant name, St. John's wort, you can also find another name for it. Like if you know it by another name, you can also look it up, and they have like many different names here. And it basically tells you a lot about the plant, the habitat, the zones. It tells you it grows best in zones 3 to 8. It tells you the height of the plant, how tall it's gonna grow, and then it tells you like how it's been used in the time of the Crusaders, like in history. So it gives you a history of the plant, and it tells you how it has been used back then, right? So you can decide to use it for that or not. And then it gives you some remedy, like how to use it and stuff like that. So this is very good. I love this book because it tells you how to make a product, and it tells you like how much they would use on it. Like, like they would make a cream and you use it for rubbing different parts and stuff like that. And it also give you a caution. It tells you don't use the plant for that, like don't use this amount and that amount. It gives you the amount that you should and should not use. And it's I love this book because it really gives a lot of information in depth, and it explains in depth a lot about the plant, whether the plant is a rhizome, and it also tells you the feel of the plant, what it feels like, if it's spiky, if it's soft. It gives you a lot of different information. It tells you how to use it in food also, and how to preserve the plant so you can get the medicinal value. So this book is excellent. I love this book. I've shown this book before in videos. So this book is called Illustrated Encyclopedia of Herbs. And I don't know if you're going to be able to find this book. This is a very old book, right? Encyclopedia of Herbs. But this is amazing because this book, it's mostly black and white, right? This book is mostly black and white, so it's not very colored. But even with the black and white, it really shows you what the plant look like, and you cannot mistake the plant, even if it's black and white. And this book goes into detail about medicinal use, culinary uses, and how it's available commercially. So it tells you like commercially, if you want to get this plant, where can you find it? How is it available commercially? Is it available by seeds? Is it available by the pods, by the leaves, by the stems? It tells you that. It also tells you like how chefs use it in different restaurants, or how people use it, the amount that they use. And it also tells you um, like where it is cultivated and how to cultivate it, right? So this book is really, really good. And there's one photo here. Every couple of pages, it shows you some colored photos. So these photos are really bonuses, so it's good. So you basically see how the plant it is in colored, but it's really good. And this is mint and thyme and za'atar and oregano, and it just shows you exactly how the plant look. But the pictures are very vivid. This book really talks about, it also talks about toxicity for each plant, and gives you warning about how to prevent toxicity when you're going to use any one of these plants, and also tells you how to cook safely with these plants, like for flavor and stuff like that, to get the best flavor and stuff like that. And there is a little in the back of this book, I think there's a little directory. Yeah, there's a little directory behind here also. I think there's some recipe. Let me make sure about that. No, this one doesn't have the directory of the recipe, but this one doesn't have recipe. Just basically tell you the history, how to use the plant, the uses, the medicinal um, things. And this also tells you um, how you can use the plant to make dye. It tells you which plant is good for making dyes, which plant is good for ornamental plants around the area. And yeah, it also tells you like how you can fight off different diseases and stuff. So this is a really interesting book. It's a big book, and it's a good read, but You take your time and read that book. You learn a lot as a beginner. The next book is 100 Garden Plants and Flowers. And I bought this book years ago. I think almost, let me see, close to 20 years ago or 15 years ago, something like I think 15 years ago I bought this book in New York City. And I like this book because this book is all about flowers. And you can see the flowers are very vivid. It's well done. Like the person who made that book is really done really well. And this helps you to identify plants. You can take this book with you and you can identify all kind of flowers out there, right? It's 100 garden plants and flowers. So there's 100 garden plants, there's 100 garden flowers, and yeah, so it's about 300 different plants that are in this book here, and it's really good. So I love taking this book with me because I can really identify plants and flowers with this book. And this will give you an idea, like as a person who wants to be a herbalist and you want to make your herb garden, it will show you the colors of the flowers of the different plants that you want to put in your herb garden, and it will kind of help you to design your herb garden. And it will also helps you to, like, say you want to plant calendula, it would also like show tells you like how delicate the plant is and whether you should plant it against another one, because some plants they tend to spread out and it may stifle the other one. So this book is a good book because you really get an understanding of the plants and the herbs and the medicinal plants and native plant, and you know how to make your garden, and you know exactly the plant you want to put there. It also going to help you to do like a color scheme if you want to make a medicinal garden that is going to be beautiful and you want it to be beautiful. This book is going to help you because you can see all the vivid colors, because like I said, everything is like so colorful and it shows you exactly what the plant look like. So this is really good. This book doesn't go into much detail about like how to use the plant and stuff like that. um, it just tells you like um, the scientific name, and it tells you just minor things about how to use it, what the plant looks like. It goes into more details about describing the plant itself than telling you how it's used, but also tell you how to arrange it in your garden and to make your yard like beautiful. Like if you want to make a beautiful garden, how to do it. So that's what that basically goes into depth about. And it also tells you if the plant is invasive or not. So this book tells you about if plants are invasive and that you should plant it next to another one or not. It also tells you what kind of insects it it attracts. Okay, so that's basically what it goes into. It talks about the insect. It doesn't even talk about diseases or anything like that, but it tells you like what plant goes by, and yeah, and the scientific name and stuff like that. Okay, this book is about beauty in your garden. Okay, and the last book I'm gonna talk with you about is this heavy book, which is called A Canadian Illustrated Guide to Green Gardening. Right, and this book is amazing, and I love it. This was a special edition. I don't know if you're gonna ever find this book. It's a very old book, but it's all about like going back to the basic of organic gardening. This book really let's see if I can show you. It's like a reader's digest. Can you see? It's like a reader's digest. And it is talking about green gardening and organic gardening. So this book is really encouraging you to garden pesticide free and to allow wildlife to come into your garden to help you eliminate pests and stuff. And this book goes into great details about soil, light condition, propagation, characteristics of the plants, botanical as well as common names of the plant. And this book has a lot of color, And this book helps you identify plants really easily. Like there's no way you'll be able to identify a plant if you have this book. So help you to identify plants really, really well. It also tells you the species and the different variety of that plant. So you may have one plant with different species, and they may have one plant leaves maybe green, um, and the leaf another one which is the same plant. The leaf may be spotted, or it may be bright red, but it's the same plant. And it tells you the species and the function. It also tells you how deep to plant that plant into the soil. It explains to you also what how the methods of growing it, whether you can grow it in a garden setting, what soil it likes the best, and tells you about growing it in pots also. But there are like a lot of vivid pictures of of the plants, and it also tells you about the different species that looks alike with that plant or that is related to that plant. So this book is very informative. It also shows you how to grow the plant and how to support some of the plants that spread a lot to prevent the plant from breaking, and for you to be able to harvest the plant and get the full use of the plant. It also goes into detail on how to make a beautiful garden setting using those plants, using different heights and using different types of plants. Then it also tells you how to propagate in different ways and different mediums to propagate your plant with. You can use sand, you can use pellets, you can use what is that? They have here, what do you call that? Or you can use cotton. They also show you how to sift the soil. This book is very detailed. It talks about bulbs and tubers, talks about lilies, every kind of plant, herb. It talks about annuals, biannual plants. It talks about how to separate different plants by their root system. So if you're a beginner and you really want to know about all those kind of things, it tells you also how to grow certain herbs and plants and bulbs in water instead of growing in soil. Depends on your condition or the area where you're in. Then it goes into berries and fruit trees and hazelnuts and walnuts and all this kind of good jazz. Currants. It also shows you how to trim, how to trim so you can get more fruit, how to plant native plant to your area. So this book is really, really good. It also talks about hybrid plants. It also shows you how to propagate your plant using different methods. So this is really, 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 really interesting books. It talks about hedges. It talks about protection for your plants. So this has like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of plants, shrubs and vines, medicinal plants and herbs and fruit trees and all kind of things. We talk about like annuals and biannuals and all that kind of good jazz. So if you're starting, you're a beginner and you really, really interested in gardening, because being a herbalist is all about gardening also, because you're going to be learning to plant your own things. And being a herbalist, you should know about your soil structure, your soil temperature. um, you should also know about what kind of minerals and nutrients, how hard the soil is, how soft the soil structure is very important when you want to dive into herbalism. Because as you learn about herbalism, how to use plants and use them for to heal yourself and your family and hopefully your friends, and if you're going to become a practitioner, then you're going to be healing your community. um, you have to make sure that you know the conditions, and it's better for you to grow your own plants to use than you buy, because if you grow your own plants, then you're going to be using more natural, organic, um, You're going to be using organic fertilizers like compost. You're going to be using like bokashi and all those things instead of spraying and all this kind of chemicals that is out there. So it's better if you want to be a herbalist that you learn how to grow these things. You learn how to harvest and preserve those things. So it's going to be a real natural thing that you're doing and not buying from other people and you don't know what they put on the plant or where the plant come from or where it was harvested from. So if you want to be a herbalist, you need to know about how to grow your own plants. This is very important. You can start with a few plants and then you just increase your selection as you get familiar. You learn simple plants first before you move to other plants. Some plants are very toxic. As a herbalist, you need to know about toxicity in herbalism because you can brew something and you can hurt yourself. Yes. So be very careful when you start in your herbalist journey. If you see a plant that it says is very toxic, do not work with that plant unless you try that plant out in very small increments on your own self. Yes, as a release, you have to try things on your own self before you try it on other people because it's very important. Like um, a plant like valerian, that's a plant, if you want to use it as a new herbalist, that's a plant that you want to be careful with because it is a very strong plant. And maybe if you take a very small amount of that plant, that can really knock you out and make you sleep and just make you sleep for hours and hours and hours. So that's a plant if you're gonna want to be working with, you need to try it in different mixtures and if you're gonna make it in liquid form or if you're gonna use it as tea or whatever you're gonna try it with, you need to learn how to use it on your own self first before you try it on somebody else. Okay. So being an herbalist is it's not easy as you think. Please do not use plants that you're not sure about. Make sure you test out everything. Learning to be a herbalist, it's great, it's amazing, but also have dangers and you need to be aware of that. So starting out, you need to get books to read. Make sure those books that you are reading, that these people that is telling you that stuff, you make sure you vet them. Like Rosemary Gladstone, like all these people. I have some books of hers upstairs. I didn't bring it down, but I have many books of other authors that are out there giving talks, showing you how to make tinctures, make meals, all those kind of good things. So you know that they're legit, not just any person just writing a book and saying all kind of stuff, right? Now, these plants here, a lot of them are North American plants. About 30% of them also grows in the Caribbean. So I'm well aware of them, but most of them are American and Canadian plants. So I had to learn them because I didn't know them. And I had to try them for myself in different mixtures and different concoctions to see how they work, how they react, what they do. Do they really work? And over the years, I have tried hundreds of plants, North American plants. I have experimented for myself. So I am aware what they do and they don't do. So I can come here and talk to you all about that. And I have also tried plants that other herbalists had talked about. So I've tried a lot of different plants to see what are the uses. Is it legit? Not legit? What it does not do. So before you start to sell anything, before you start to do anything, make sure you try it out first. If there is, you learn about a plant, for example, if you learn about, say for example, calendula. When I start using calendula, I wanted to use it on my own self because I know I have very sensitive skin. And so I grew calendula in my garden. I harvested it and then I made oils and I made butters. Then I tried it on me and it worked amazing. I didn't have any side effects. It didn't irritate me or whatever. And then calendula became one of my go-to plant for just sensitive skin. But that's what I said. It's very important to try things on yourself in small increments, little bit of things, then you know if it works or not. If you're gonna drink anything, make sure you drink like a small amount and see how it reacts to you. Then increase the amount and see how it's gonna react again. Okay. And if you're gonna sell things to people once you get the hang of all that stuff, then you need to take a different approach. And we're gonna talk about that as we continue on the herbal list journey. But for today, we're just talking about books, and any books you can get your hand upon, please read, read a lot. And once you read, then go out there and start to identify the plant. Make sure the plant that you read about, you know that's the right plant. Go out there in the wild and identify the plant. When you're learning to be a herbalist, like try not to buy things first. Try to find things for free in the wild and experiment with them first before you decide, okay, I'm going to work with this plant. But it's always best to start as a herbalist with just herbs that are in your garden, like mint and thyme, just basic, basic plants that are in your garden that you know it's safe. And then you can make different combinations and see how they'll work for you. If you drink garlic and mint, different spearmint or catmint, or if you have a fever and you drink catmint and you drink thyme, how does it works? How does it work with your body and different things like that. But the main thing that I'm saying is go to the thrift store, go online, find some books on discount and start reading because herbalism is about knowledge, and once you gain knowledge, it's about putting the knowledge that you gain to action. And it takes a lot of work, time, and energy, and years of study to master that stuff. So take your time, be patient, and I'm here to teach you many things that you want to know. We'll be working on different plants, individual plants. I'll show you how to make different things using those plants. I will tell you exactly what it is used for. So we'll talk about the uses, and then we'll talk about how to use it, how to apply it in your daily life if you get sick, if your child gets sick, or whatever, whichever way you want to use it. So we're going to be talking about that. So you guys, thank you very much for coming to the course, and I will see you in the next section of the course.